I am Fredrik Jansson. I am the Chief Strategy, Marketing and Communications Officer at atNorth. We are a Nordic data center provider. There are two defining trends of our time: digitization and sustainability. So on the one hand, everything that can be digitized will be digitized, driving a huge amount of data and need for compute. On the other hand, we have a rapidly evolving climate crisis, with governments, businesses, individuals needing to take urgent action to curb emissions. The data center sits at the intersection of these megatrends. It's where digital transformation meets the climate crisis head-on. So every time we, as consumers, go online, we do our banking, we do our online shopping, we stream a TV series, a process starts in a data center. If this data center is power hungry, coal-fired, energy inefficient, and lets excess heat into the atmosphere, then we are contributing to climate change, and most likely unknowingly, all of us. My chapter starts with a personal story of when I tried to explain what I do at work to my young daughter, and failing miserably in getting her remotely interested. I finally managed to capture her interest when we got into a discussion on how watching My Little Pony on her iPad started a process in a data center that recycled the excess heat from the servers to warm the radiators in our home in snowy Stockholm. So the first part of my chapter looks at digital infrastructure through the eyes of a child and helps land how being a part of this industry affords us an opportunity to, in my daughter's words, help the world become a better place. So in my chapter, I also zoom in on innovation that is transforming the data center industry, how the digital data explosion fuels the need for high-density data centers, and why modern data centers need to have heat reuse, circular economy principles, innovative cooling, and work in tandem with the climate. These are all existing industry innovations that are starting to be deployed at large scale. I use some of atNorth's Nordic data centers to give real examples in the chapter. Lastly, I also zoom out and look at what factors that can accelerate innovation, accelerate change. And I believe that customers, so the buyers of data centers, and consumers, so anyone who consumes digital services, will increasingly act as change agents and accelerate the shift towards greener data. Well, greener data isn't just a book, it's a movement. Our industry has the power to change the way in which we fuel data, which is probably the most important asset in the digital economy that we live in. So we in the digital infrastructure industry can make compute sustainable and ultimately help make the world a better place. So greener data is such an important initiative and a movement that's extremely close to my heart. So there was no way of not getting involved. I pick up on two trends in the book, so I'll quickly cover both. Firstly, we are starting to see a real shift in the way in which businesses assess their CO2 footprint. So today, every business, regardless of industry, is a technology business with large amounts of data and compute needs. And sleeping businesses who've done only the high-level assessment of their CO2 footprint and are increasingly waking up to the carbon footprint of their IT estate and compute. So we are seeing compute and digital infrastructure increasingly moving to regions like the Nordics that can support circular economy, use renewable power, and large-scale heat reuse. So in essence, what we are seeing is businesses looking at data centers as a decarbonization platform. So a way to actively reduce the businesses, not just the IT's, carbon footprint. The second trend that I'm watching with great interest is where the consumer fits into this puzzle. So every time we make a purchase, most of us wants to make an active choice to ensure that it has a positive impact on the climate. You can buy ecological food, sustainably manufactured goods, etc., etc. But when it comes to the digital footprint, consumers do not yet have the power of making that active choice. To choose to stream a TV series from a sustainable data center, or to log into your internet bank hosted in a green data center. So as an industry, it's our duty and maybe also our biggest challenge to arm the supply chain and ultimately the end consumer with the right information and the ability to make this choice. To empower my daughter, who is streaming My Little Pony, and future generations to be active digital climate champions instead of passive climate culprits. So is it achievable? Yeah, I think so, but we have to work together, and that's exactly why initiatives like Greener Data are so important.